Hello, my name is Katie and welcome to my bookshelf. I thought it'd be really cool to do a bookshelf tour because I personally enjoy bookshelf tours. I'm not going to go through each individual book because that's going to take forever and I am not about that life. So I thought maybe I'd just go shelf by shelf and maybe point out some ones that I particularly enjoyed or that I think are cool. The shelves you're seeing here are actually just the Billy bookcases from IKEA that my husband basically created built-in bookshelves around. He just like built a frame so that they look like they're part of the wall. This shelf only contains my adult fiction and my nonfiction, and these are only books that I've read. The exception would be those coffee table books up there. Those are also the only ones that aren't in alphabetical order. They're just kind of done by size. The rest more or less are, except for the series that I have kind of stacked horizontally. I can't do rainbow shelves because it drives me crazy not to have series and authors grouped together. I worked at a library in high school and that may be impacting why I feel that way. Guess maybe we'll just start at the top and work our way down. So up here we have just kind of like coffee table books and then my cute mermaids. I don't know that I've read most of these all the way through, but I just kind of pick them up every now and again if I'm sitting down here and page through them a little bit. This shelf here, it has the shadow box that my mom made for me with all like my military stuff in it. I have the Expanse series right here. I'm currently kind of reading through those. Really enjoying them. Once I have several of them, I guess I'm gonna have to move some stuff so that way you can still see my shadow box. And then on this shelf also, we have this book here. This is the Ship of Theseus, I believe is how you say that. It's a really cool book. Maybe I'll just get it down so you can... So it comes in a sleeve, and if you look at it, it looks very much like an old library book. And then inside of it, there's a ton of pullouts and notes in the margins. Essentially, this book is a story, but then it's also got another story written within the margins. And it was a really cool book. I think I read it twice through. I think I read it and then immediately reread it. We also have Ninth House, The Silence of the Girls. Origin by Dan Brown might be the only Dan Brown book that I've read and actually liked. The next shelf here we have the entire Red Rising series. This is one that I kind of think they should have just stuck with the trilogy and not continued it, but nobody asked me. This book, Meddling Kids. Actually, I like the cover more than I liked the book itself. It was kind of like a Scooby-Doo type tale, which was really interesting. Edgar Cantero writes some weird stuff. I have the Invisible Library series on this shelf. Currently one of my favorites. I left some room here because I intend to read the next book this month. Moving down to the next shelf, we have my Blake Crouch books that I love. This series, the Amber trilogy. I don't really hear that many people talk about it, but I feel like a lot of people would enjoy it. It's kind of like... it's set in a world that is not the United States, but kind of could be, although it's a little bit more steampunk. I don't know, it's really cool. I have here How Rory Thorne Destroyed the Multiverse. If you're looking for like kind of weird sci-fi, this one's good. There's the Bulgarian. This is actually, these are bindups. So this is 5 books, but they're all really short. Like each book in the series is only around 250 pages, which is odd for fantasy, but okay. I like Lucy Foley. Both of these books were good, if a little bit similar, but that's okay. They are both enjoyable. This shelf here is a picture of my brother. It was one of his graduation photos. I actually have a lot of Book of the Month books on this shelf. This An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I just bought the sequel to, and I can't wait to get started on it. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Haro. I thought that was really cool. She has a new book coming out in October, I believe. That also sounds amazing. Then I have Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, which I actually really enjoyed. I didn't think I was going to, but I did. I have some Pam Janoffs here. She's one of my favorite historical fiction authors. Alright. This shelf, I have the Nevernight trilogy by J. Kristoff, which I really enjoyed. This is the, what is it called? Is it called the Poppy War series? I'm not sure, but the 3rd book is coming out, I want to say in November, and I'm very excited about it. I'm probably going to do a reread soon. I was pleasantly surprised with this Sarah J. Maas book. I actually liked it, and I'm kind of excited to see the next one. And then over here, this was my grandma's prom picture. This is a puzzle box that my husband got for me when he was stationed in Turkey. We're all the way at the bottom here, so this might be a little weird to film. I have the only Game of Thrones book I've read. I wanted to continue with the series, because I enjoyed the first book, but I saw the show, and it's just, oh my god, there's so many books in that series that it seems intimidating. This is the Every Heart a Doorway series. I have all of them so far. I enjoy them. I'm gonna continue to get them. I think the next one that comes out in January, and that might be the last one, I'm not sure. Also by Shauna McGuire, I have Middle Game. Very weird book, but I enjoyed it. Shifting over a bit, I have Mexican Gothic, which I really liked, and then some Erin Morgenstern. I feel like I'm in the minority here because I enjoyed the Starless Sea far more than I enjoyed the Night Circus. And then this is just a sign that a friend of mine got me. This top shelf here has kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. We have some Kate Morton, who is one of my other favorite historical fiction authors. The Sleeping Gods, the Sleeping Giants trilogy. I actually don't even know, is that what it's called? I don't know. These books here by Sylvain Neuval. Very good if you like sci-fi. We have my Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I am in the minority in that I enjoyed both Daisy Jones and The Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo equally. This shelf here, that's a picture of me and my husband that we took when we went to Alcatraz last year. I have my Riley Sager books. The only books I don't own by Riley Sager is Final Girls. I should probably just get it and read it so I can have all of them. This shelf here is kind of wrapping up the fiction. I have a lot of Ruth Ware. I enjoy Ruth Ware a lot. And at the end here I have the Six Tudor Queens series, minus the one that hasn't come out yet. Very good series, highly recommend. This shelf has some bind-ups that I got from Barnes & Noble. I think this one is absolutely stunning. It's probably my favorite book cover that I own. I don't really read from any of these because they're incredibly uncomfortable to hold. Over here we have a box that my sister made for me when I graduated basic training. And then just a little letter made out of a book that a friend of mine got me for my birthday or something, I'm not sure. This shelf here is the beginning of my nonfiction. I have a picture of me and my sister the day she got signed to her college volleyball team, and a picture of me and my brother in Washington, D.C. A lot of the nonfiction here has been very enjoyable, actually. Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy that I read for the History Challenge. This biography on Victoria was amazing. Utopia for Realists by Rutger Bregman was great, especially if you're interested in ideas like universal basic income or having a shorter work week, things like that. He has a lot of ideas in that vein, but he also has like evidence to back up his ideas, which I appreciated. This book on Ruth Bader Ginsburg was amazing. Yes, it's like the YA edition, but it was so good, and there were actually parts that made me cry. Also on this shelf is The Last Palace that I've talked about a lot and probably don't need to anymore. The Silk Roads was pretty good. I don't remember a ton about it at this point because I think I listened to it on audiobook like a year or two ago, but I enjoyed my time with it. Sapiens, also great. The Rival Queens book, it was good in a way, except it kind of pitted Catherine de' Medici against her daughter Marguerite, and it really villainized Catherine de' Medici. Like, you can tell that the author does not like that woman, and I don't know how I felt about that. This biography, well, actually it's an autobiography on Neil Patrick Harris. I love NPH. He is one of my favorite humans, and I've actually read it several times because in one of my psychology classes that I took, I psychoanalyzed him for a paper, and it was so much fun. This book here, Women in Science, is so good, and it has, let me see if I can find some of the pictures. It has just the best pictures. And my sister, actually, I got her a copy, and she read it to my nieces. And immediately after that, one of my nieces decided she wanted to be a scientist, and I was like, hooray, my work here is done. This book on the Plantagenets was really good. Very much enjoyed that, by Dan Jones. This is the only book I've read by Sam Keane. It's The Disappearing Spoon, but it was so good that I want to read everything else he's ever written. We have a couple books here by Eric Larson. I'm hoping to get to another one of his before the end of the year, but we'll see. This book makes me happy every time I see the title. It's 4,000 Years of Uppity Women. Hell yes. This book, How to Invent Everything, A Survival Guide for the Stranded Time Traveler by Ryan North, is so good. It is so funny. It's one of those books that, like, you don't even really have to read in order. You can just kind of flip around and read sections that interest you. But his sense of humor is second to none. We're at the bottom shelf now, so the angle is going to be a little weird, but I'm doing my best. This is the library book, pull this back, by Susan Orlean. I loved this book. It is about the Los Angeles Public Library when it caught fire. This my mom got me, I think. And it's The Landscapes of Anne of Green Gables. I adore the Anne of Green Gables series. Another book title that makes me happy to see, Princesses Behaving Badly. And then down here is just a picture of me and my niece when she was born. I want to say I was only like 20 years old. Oh my god, time flies. Welcome to part 2 of my bookshelf tour. This is all the books that I have upstairs. It's my young adult, and then in a little bit you'll see like my middle grade age range books. These are pretty high up on the wall, so the angle might be a little bit funky, but I'll do my best. And these are mainly in alphabetical order. The ones that are horizontal kind of break from that alphabetical order, but it was kind of just what I had to do to get things to fit as well as they do. I hate breaking up series, so I will fight and do strange things, like that book there, Courting Darkness, that is sitting randomly on top of everything in order to keep my series together. First here we have my Throne of Glass series. Unpopular opinion, but I enjoy this series. I'm actually considering doing some kind of a reading vlog in which I reread some of my old favorite series to see if they still hold up, or if maybe it was just a phase I'm going through. Next to it I have a special edition of Throne of Glass that my sister got me. My younger sister and I are both huge fans of the series, and I think that's partly why I love it so much, is because she and I talk about it all the time. Some other big name things we have here are the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I also have the Language of Thorns. I have 2 editions actually, because I think it's such a beautiful book. Also up here is the Infernal Devices series. It is the only Cassandra Clare books that I didn't despise. I tried to read the Mortal Instruments, and I just can't get through them. But the Infernal Devices I liked. It may be because there's only 3 books in the series, or maybe it's just because it's set in in alternate Victorian England. The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones is an Owl Crate book that I think is one of the most underrated books that they've ever put in a box. Nobody talks about it, but I thought it was really good. I have several books by Trisha Levenseller. I have The Daughter of the Pirate King and The Daughter of the Siren Queen, both of which I adored, and then The Shadows Between Us, which I liked marginally less. I have over here the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson. I enjoyed them, especially for being a YA series. And then I have the Illuminate Files, Illuminate, Gemina, and Obsidio. Illuminate is by far and away my favorite. I actually don't even know if I liked Gemina and Obsidio. I've read Illuminate a couple times though. Right down here at a more reasonable height level, I have an Ember and the Ashes series, one of my favorite series of all time. Not even just one of my favorite young adult series, just one of my favorite series ever. Then we have Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, both of which I love. I haven't read anything else by Laini Taylor. I kind of want to, so let me know if I should prioritize that at all. I have some Marie Lu. The Legend series is one that my sister recommended I read, and I enjoyed it. Warcross and Wildcard I enjoyed marginally less. However, I love the covers, so we're keeping them for now. This series by Jodi Meadows, Incarnate, Asunder, and Infinite, I never hear anybody talk about. A friend of mine had purchased them and then never read them, so he gave them to me. and I really liked them. I think I binge read them in a matter of 3 or 4 days. It's a series about this world in which everybody just keeps kind of getting reborn. There are no new souls in the world, and then our main character is born, and she's new, and nobody knows what to do with her, and a lot of people are very angry because she was born instead of someone that they loved. This Queen of Hearts, Blood of Wonderland, and War of the Cards series, I never hear anybody talk about either, but I really liked it. It's the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, but it's her story, and I thought it was fabulous. I am a sucker for Ruta Chapedes, so I have Between Shades of Grey, The Fountains of Silence, and Salt to the Sea. I want to say all of them made me cry, but I'm also just a big baby. The Price Guide to the Occult. I actually really love this cover, and then the pages are red, and that's mainly why I keep it around. I barely even remember what it's about anymore. At the end here, we have a series I loved stacked on top of a series that I did not love. The Nixia trilogy there, I thought was really good. The first book and the last book I liked much better than the second book. But overall, I thought it was a really good sci-fi series. I would like it to be made into a movie or something. And then underneath that I have the Ash Princess, Lady Smoke, and Ember Queen by Laura Sebastian. I liked Ash Princess, which is why I got Lady Smoke. And then once I had Lady Smoke, even though I read it and didn't care for it, I thought I may as well see if, the series finishes strong, because that's what happened with Nixia. I read the first one, loved it. Second one, meh. And the third one really, really surprised me. Yeah, no, those ones just kept getting worse in my opinion. We are now at part 3 of my bookshelf tour, and this is the final section of books I have that I've read. They're in a closet, so the lighting's not great and it's a little bit hard to see. But on the right here, you can see all my Harry Potters. I have a bunch of the illustrated editions, and here's where I'm torn, because I would love to finish collecting the illustrated editions. However, I no longer want to put money into J.K. Rowling's pocket. So, yeah, I don't know what to do there. I have also Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I have the Tales of Beedle the Bard, Quidditch Through the Ages, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I also have I believe the 20th anniversary editions of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I bought the hardcover and the paperback. Next to that, I have my Percy Jackson series, and then the Heroes of Olympus underneath that. Next to those, standing vertically, are my Royal Diaries series, and then a bunch of the Dear Americas that I own. Over here, I just have a bunch of middle grade that I've read and enjoyed. The York series there by Laura Ruby I found to be actually really good for a middle grade. I have Furthermore and Witchwood by Tahara Mafi. I adore them, and I kind of hope she writes more in that world. Willow of the Wood I thought was really good. I think there are more books in that series, so I might have to check them out. And then at the very end here are my graphic novels. Starting with the ones that are laid horizontally from the bottom, I have volumes 1 through 7 of Wicked and the Divine. I love that series so much. I believe volumes 8 and 9 are out now, but I haven't quite gotten to them yet. Then I have volumes 1 through 4 of Rat Queens, also a surprisingly good series. I have volumes 1 through 3 of Paper Girls. I'm not sure if I want to continue Paper Girls. I might have to do a reread and see how I feel. I just have volume 1 of Lumberjanes. I want to read more of that. So I think maybe I'll do a reread of that too, see if I'm still interested. And then maybe buy a few more copies. On top of that is volumes 1 through 3 of I Hate Fairyland. That series, each volume got steadily worse for me, and I kind of just quit. On top of that, I have volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's just like a Black Widow arc that I really enjoyed, because I love Black Widow, she's my fave. On top of that, I have the March series by John Lewis. Highly recommend. It's about his time, marching with Dr. King. I also have, you definitely can't see it because it's so dark up there, the Tea Dragon Society. I think I got that in an owl crate. Super cute little graphic novel. I have The Prince and the Dressmaker. Very cute. Check Please. It was cute, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else seems to. Over here standing, I have a graphic novel edition of The Odyssey that I love. Next to that, I have Monstrous Volume 1. That's another series I think I want to continue with, but I'm not sure. I also have Lock and Key Volume 1, which I don't know if I'm continuing. I have Nimona, and then I have it's just like a middle grade graphic novel called Fake Blood. It's about this kid who, I can't even remember if it was like a little girl or a little boy, whatever. They have a crush, and they think that their crush is really into vampires, so they try to turn themselves into a vampire, but then it turns out the crush is actually a vampire hunter. It was really cute. I'm definitely probably hanging on to that because I have fond memories of it. So that's the end of my bookshelf tour. If you've read any of these, let me know. Let's chat about them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. Stick around. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon.